Hey guys, we're gonna make bad decisions a little bit more. Try to do an Innistrad draft with a internet connection, which is probably not stable enough to actually survive the 45 picks. That is a fairly underwhelming pack to open. Bonds of Faith, Geist Flame, and Avacyn's Pilgrim are our options, I think. And Moon Heron. I take Geist Flame. Geist Flame's a cool card in a red deck, and it's a cool card in any sort of ludicrously unfocused, high-end, weird sort of deck. I don't know. I already hate it. Could take Avacyn's Pilgrim and just do the green-white thing. I don't think Bonds of Faith fits in anything super powerful that I want to start drafting right now. I still think Moon Heron is like an exciting enough card. I think it's between Pilgrim and Geist Flame. I'm gonna time out on the Geist Flame. I lied. I guess I picked it before I timed out. There's a Mythic Rare, 3 Uncommons, and a Brimstone Volley. So I would say there's a decent chance that somebody to my right took a red or green or black rare. Is that all the flip rares? I don't know. Brimstone Volley is pretty good, so I guess there are other cards I could have taken over Brimstone Volley. I'm going to take the Brimstone Volley and be quite happy about it. I do need to work out how this deck is planning to actually kill people, though. Perhaps with green cards, but oh, red-green is so underwhelming. I think when you see a third pick Dark Thicket Wolf, though, you might as well take green. I may not attempt to actually make green-red work here. I may just go for a base green-blue sort of deck, as I have in the past. Dark Thicket Wolf has to be the pick, though. So there's villagers, there's a spider spawning, and 2 good blue cards. I'm going to take the spider spawning, and let's get late game on some folks. I could also just take the villagers and focus on smashing face in, but I think spider spawning is going to make this deck so much better. Geist Flame and Brimstone Volley are cool cards for like dealing damage to creatures and stuff, but they are not creatures, so they make it harder to actually curve out and start dealing damage to the face. They're still fine, like sure you can remove a blocker with them, but I don't know, man. Villagers, Forbidden Alchemy are the cards that I'm considering here. I mean, I actively want to get into blue here. I think getting a bunch of blue stuff will actually be really good for my deck in like every way imaginable, so the only thing is the Villagers is just an amazing card. Really good body and turns into a bigger one. You know, I don't think I'm going to be flipping Villagers all that much on my own, and Forbidden Alchemy is so good that I'm just going to take the Alchemy. Green cards are very clearly not very welcome at this table in other people's decks. I don't know. That dude over Scourge. Gonna take the Shimmering Grotto here. There's a Voiceless Spirit very late. Let's take Shimmering Grotto. Travel Preparation, 8th pick. Or Dark Thicket Wolf, 8th pick. Either of those are totally fine. Delver is also totally fine option. Because I'm not planning to have more than like 14 or 15 creatures, I don't think Travel Preparations is quite what this deck wants to do. I honestly don't think Dark Thicket Wolf is amazing in this deck either, really. I might just take Delver. Screw it. I'm just going to take Delver. The reason is that I'm going to end up with a whole bunch of instants and sorceries, and I want a deck with like creatures that can block rather than just full-on aggro. I could have tried to make green-based aggro deck work, and it would have been looking pretty good going into Pack 2, but I think this deck will be more fun to play, if not actually better. It's between Spidery Grasp and One-Eyed Scarecrow. Yeah, I just barely prefer Spidery Grasp, I think, and I think Festerhide Boar is a decent enough body to throw it in the pile. Caravan Vigil, very happy to get that super late, and All to the Bone, pretty happy about that. So, have I hit a card yet? We're 12 picks in, and every card I've drafted may go into my final deck. Riot Devils could too. Like, probably we're at a point where we can safely hide the Riot Devils. Delver is not going to do a very good job of getting played turn 1, but in a deck like this, that's actually not so bad. Like, I'm probably going to end up having a lot to do with my mana on turn like 5 and 6, and having a card that only costs 1, which will eventually turn into a 3/2 flyer. It's going to be pretty sweet. So we're already at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 instants or sorceries that we definitely want to play. Oh my. Well, I think the Test Subject is definitely a card that makes more sense in this deck than the Marauders. I do want red to be a splash color and blue to be a main color, eventually. Just because the way the cards in the format work, that seems like it would work out a lot better for me. I haven't seen red being super open or anything like that that would incline me to try to make red a main color. I don't think the Marauders are like overwhelmingly amazing. They're a fine creature, but they're one of those cards that sometimes gets out of control and people remember that, but a lot of the time just isn't super relevant. I think the Test Subject, on the other hand, being a 0/3 for 2 is not actually even that bad in this deck, I don't think, and there's a bit of an upside there, I would say. No green cards. Isolated Chapel won't make the cut. Rage Thrower is an option, but probably Harvest Pyre is going to be better. I could also take like just an Ashmouth Hound. The problem is I don't really want to need to feel like I have red on turn 2, and Harvest Pyre is going to do a much better job late in the game than Ashmouth Hound, I think. Could also take Claustrophobia, but I think Harvest Pyre, while it is also fairly conditional, it's conditional in better ways for this deck than Claustrophobia is. Claustrophobia is conditional, like, eventually they'll be able to make it not matter a lot of the time, whereas Harvest Pyre is conditional as in it's not actually a 2 casting cost spell. Like, you can't actually cast it on turn 2. Unless I like Caravan Vigil first or something. Yeah, I'm fairly happy with Harvest Pyre there. Okay, so there's a Deadweight, a Grimgrin. I'd be quite happy to put either of those in the deck. There's like another Forbidden Alchemy, or I think twice. I think Grimgrin just has to be good enough here, right? He's a damn fine dude. It does cost 5. And It seems like there should be some decent ways to exploit him in this deck. Especially we have another 27 picks left, so we can pick up some good stuff to go with him. I'm still trying to work out exactly what I would want that to be. I mean, he's just fine on his own. The only concern is that I might not have that many creatures to support him, but yeah, I'm fairly happy to take him. I think take Stitcher's Apprentice and maybe Table Mulch, get a 12th pick Mulch out of this pack. There are a lot of quite good cards. I could also take Rolling Tembler. I think the hope, though, would be that 2 toughness ground creatures are not relevant against this deck, really. So yeah, I think Stitcher's Apprentice is just a super good guy. Could take, like, Ambush Viper. I don't have much in the way of, like, stalling the ground right now. I think Stitcher's Apprentice. So there's another Harvest Pyre. We have a lot of those red things that kill stuff. Double Harvest Pyre is getting a little bit dodgy. It's probably better in this pack, in this deck than Juggernaut, and I'm trying not to be white as well, despite all the cool white cards that I'm seeing. So yeah, I think I'm gonna take that. This is a weak pack. Just take Grizzled Outcast's big body. Is it better than Hollow Henge? Usually it is, but in this deck, the extra toughness is actually sort of cool. And again, I'm not planning to flip that too often. Oh well, I'll take it. I think the color requirements in this deck are so greedy that Sulphur Falls is going to be better than Avacyn's Pilgrim. Sulphur Falls is also worth money and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to take the one that's worth money. I could get defenses up with Witchbane Orb, or I could just take another Stitcher's Apprentice like a normal person. I think I'll do that. Okay. There are a few Avacyn's Pilgrims going around. We will take that one. Delusion, Ironsmith, Naturalize. God, I'm getting so many cards that I could realistically still just like shift into a normal blue-red deck or something. But probably I'll attempt not to do that. I'm going to take the Ironsmith. Take the Spider. It's like too many 5 casting cost things. Take it anyway. Windmill Slam the Mulch. Frightful Delusion. Someone's getting a 14th pick Selfless Cathar. Whew. Could have had a pretty sweet looking green-white deck. But, this thing should do okay. Would love another Shimmering Grotto, another couple of Forbidden Alchemies, or Think Twice's, or Desperate Ravings, or something. Maybe an Unburial Rites. I could cast both sides of Unburial Rites, whatever. I probably can't quite cast a Wheat Inquisitor, but fortunately there's a Murder of Crows in the pack that I can take instead. Unless I'd rather Unburial Rites. The problem is, with Murder of Crows as well, I really have too many 5s. Murder of Crows is very, very good in my deck, but I'm just like, want to make sure there isn't something else that I really need that I could take instead. I don't think so. The third Harvest Pyre seems like too many Harvest Pyres. Like, I have Spider Spawning as well, so I don't even want to remove my creatures. I only have 1 Mulch, although I'm tabling 1 most likely. Elite Inquisitor isn't worth lots of money or something, is it? I don't know. Could also take Hinterland Harbor. I wouldn't hate that pick that much. But I do think it's worse. I don't think you really want 3 Stitcher's Apprentices. Even with the Murder of Crows, I would need a lot more stuff that was interacting well with the Apprentices. And the Scab is going to be really good in this deck. It's filling a necessary spot. I really don't have that much that's blocking on the ground right now. And it's also helping kickstart Harvest Pyres and get me towards spider spawning. I don't have a huge amount of flashback stuff, but really you only need 1 spider spawning. You don't need that much going on. Cultist, Grasp of Phantoms. I would love to have both of those. I only get to choose one though, and it's going to be Grasp of Phantoms. Card is pretty ruinous. It's going to be sort of bad sometimes in this deck because I'm going to be behind on the board a lot, but it will never be like super bad, and a lot of the time it will be insane. I guess I'm just trying to say it's not the most ludicrous Grasp of Phantoms that I've ever drafted. It's either Think Twice or Lost in the Mist. Lost in the Mist is a useful effect which I don't have one of yet. On the other hand, I'm a little worried about the top end of this deck, so I think I'll grab a Think Twice. A little worried that the top end of this deck is too top heavy, to be a little more specific. How worried am I about my mana? I have a Caravan Vigil already, a Shimmering Grotto, a Sulphur Falls, and I'm pretty much just 2 color. I have 1 Real Splash and 1 Tiny Splash, so I think I'll take Villagers over Caravan Vigil. Like, the only other concern is Delver, but I think we're like, yeah, we're very easily supporting Delver. Looks like I have 10 already, unless I start cutting them. Mauler or Shimmering Grotto. I think after the Villagers and the Scab, I'm doing okay stalling the ground. Mauler plays poorly with Harvest Pyre and Spider Spawning, so I think I'd rather just take the Shimmering Grotto. Really get that mana going. Yeah, sure, I'll take a Woodland Cemetery, I guess. Probably don't want to swamp anymore with 3 black sources. Four black sources. I do take Shimmering Grotto here, right? I may have too many Shimmering Grottos going on right now. What else could I take? I could take a Boneyard Worm or a Moon Mist. Neither of those seem very appealing. So yeah, I'm just going to take another Shimmering Grotto. I may not even play it. We did table another Mulch. Make-A-Wish is sort of cool with Harvest Pyre. I've never noticed that interaction before. Well, I don't know. Cobbled Wings is a hate draft. I don't think I want to take Make-A-Wish, even with cool interactions considered. Nothing here, really. Kessig perhaps? A few Forbidden Alchemies short of the deck I really wanted, but it's still fine. Yeah, still fine. 13-13. I have some rares, right? So yeah, I have Grimgren, I have the Test Subject, and then if I can stall the game long, I have a Spider Spawning. Just turning the lights on. It's getting dark over here. So, I don't know what everyone else is doing. Making me wait forever. Hello, cat. It's about an hour before dinner time, so I'm suddenly my cat's best friend. So there are some blue cards. I'm not sure that I'm actually playing Caravan Vigil. Probably don't want Gnaw to the Bone. Probably don't want Somberwald Spider. That looks fine to me, really. Didn't think too much about that, but that's... yeah, that seems about where I'd want to be. So I have 11 instants or sorceries. I only have 1 Delver. It's too bad. They're all pretty good. I have a spider spawning. I don't have much that lets me like force through a win with spider spawning. It's going to be a mediocre card a lot of the time, but I think this deck has enough ways to just win otherwise. So that should be okay. Just these give me 4 red and some number of things. Sorry, getting a call. Hello.